Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Arukakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect brothers that's pushing this word in sincerity and in truth, hoping for salvation. I want to get back into what I was going into last week. Last week at camp, I was going into how this place is going to be destroyed, how the prophecies is coming to pass to let you know that America's going to be destroyed. It's all lining up. Like when you was a kid, you had a dot-to-dot puzzle. You didn't know what the puzzle was what picture was gonna portray until you connected the dots. Well, the Most High is giving us the pencil, which is the scriptures, to read and go from dot to dot, and then you see the big picture. And what's the big picture? Is America being destroyed. That's what the dot-to-dot picture is showing via prophecies of the scriptures. So when you put those puzzles together and you see it, and the Most High is giving you that spiritual eye, that keen spiritual eye, so you can see what the prophecies are telling you in the scriptures, not what your pastor is showing you, which is the lies that he tells every Sunday that you go to his harlot house and that's what he feeds you. He shows you a picture of prosperity. But when you read the scriptures, that picture declares that there's darkness coming. There's the day of the Lord's wrath is coming, famine, death, and destruction. And then ultimately the destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great, which is the modern day Babylon, which the scriptures speak of. And so last week I was going into how the Most High's prophecies are coming to pass more and more, because like I've been saying a lot lately, we living in electrifying times. And those electrifying times is presenting what we've been saying for years, starting with the apostles and elders, even beyond what the apostles and elders was teaching, going back over 30 years ago, and then all the way to this day. But the Most High put the spirit on the apostles of Great Millstone to go out there and jump on YouTube and start pushing the script, pushing the truth on YouTube, which is the unicorn, the ping, to send it all across the four corners of the earth. And then you started seeing all the gathering and awakening of the hopeful elect. And then once you see that happening, you seeing prophecies continuous to happen. Because we live in, like I said, in electrifying times. So when we living in those times, then you must understand the times that you're living in. So let me get in my first scripture. Because you must know the times that you're living in, so people could know what the time they're living in, so they can be woken up. Because it's only a little bit much more time to go based on prophecies and what we believe. This is Romans. I'm going to start at Romans. Bear with me. 13 and 11. It says, and that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. Because our people have been asleep. All of us been asleep. And the Most High is giving you that alarm clock. And the alarm clock is the apostles and elders, along with other men the Most High put the spirit on to start pushing this word. And when that's woken our people up. That's the alarm clock, the word being pushed. And then what happens when you hear the word? Once you wake up, you get up and you get moving. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. So our salvation is near more than when we believe. Why? Because prophecies are screaming at us, screaming, singing, talking, fussing at you. Prophecies are speaking loud as ever right now. They're not tearing. The next scripture is Ephesians 5 and 14. It says, wherefore he said, awaken thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead. Because when you were in the world and you didn't know this truth, you were dead. You were in a dead state of mind. You weren't woken. You didn't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High had forth to bring you into this truth, to wake you up. So you in a dead state spiritually. But the Most High is telling you to wake up. Wake up from that dead state. Wake up for the confusion that's going on around you, which is here in Babylon, which is here in America that pushes nothing but confusion. That's what the word Babylon means. and it pushes nothing but confusion, keeping people asleep in a confused state. And the Most High said, wake up out of that state. Wake up out of that condition you in, that sleep condition. It says, wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahushua shall give thee light. What is the light? The light is the scriptures. The light is the scriptures and the truth about the scriptures. The true knowledge that the Most High is giving you. Yahushua is the light, and through him we understand the light, which is the scriptures. We understand, he gives us understanding through the Holy Spirit to understand that what we're reading. Because people read the Bible. The Bible is the #1 book on the earth. There's no other book that's being sold or that's in households across the world than the Bible. For people to read it don't mean they're going to understand it. You have to be given to understand it. You're in darkness, so you can't see. You can't see what the scriptures are saying. But the one whom the Most High has put his spirit on to receive that light and have that understanding, he's telling you wake up, because he's got a gift for you. He's going to give you faith, the gift of the faith and the belief of the scriptures. Because there's so much things that's going to happen that you're going to need that faith. You're going to need to be able to call upon Yahweh with belief, with faith and belief that he's going to be there for you, because there's going to be so much things happening around you and about you, and you ain't going to be able to know whether or not you're going to get in and out of that, so you got to have faith. That's when faith kicks in. The Most High, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, we hope that He gives us everything we need in those times, because we know how hard it's going to be. Verse 15: see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. The days are evil. Evil days are coming. Bad times are coming to your streets, to your neighborhoods, to your cities, and to your states, and then all across the four corners of the globe, because the scriptures say that temptation, which is the mark of the beast, is going to come upon everybody. The hour of temptation, where you're going to be tempted to take that chip, which is the mark of the beast, which is you pledging an alliance with the so-called white man, with Esau and his power structure, which is his new world order, his enterprise, what he wants to put forth on the earth, which is to enslave you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called blacks, Native American, and Hispanic Seminole Indians. Y'all are the Hebrew Israelites, and that's who he wants. He wants you to be his slave, just like Pharaoh in the ancient days of Egypt was enslaved our people. He wants to. This is the modern day Egypt, and the so-called white man is the modern day Pharaoh. And he wants you chipped, branded, and bonded as his slaves, his goyim, his cattle. But the Most High got a remnant that he ain't gonna allow to take that chip, because he's put a spirit within them that they will deny that chip and die as a martyr if they have to. Why? Because the Most High gave him belief and faith in him. And with that, that's going to be your guard, your shield against what the white man is bringing, the so-called white man is going to be bringing on everybody. Let me get to, since I mentioned, let me go into Job. This is Job 5, and start at verse 12. It says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So the devices is Esau's, all the different things he put forth in front of people, like his media, his social media, his media, everything, his media outlets, everything that he pushes out to paint a picture for you to do something that you shouldn't do, and that he wants you to do. Like you go down there to the government, get a government assistance, right? And then he's how you sign up papers and stuff, and then he'll provide this for you. Well, it's gonna come a time where you ain't gonna be no papers that he wants you to sign. He's gonna want you to inject a chip inside your body. It's called the RFID microchip. And like I said before, that's the mark of the beast. He's gonna want you to implant that inside you. No more papers, no more signing on the dotted line, no more showing up to county buildings. Go down to the chipping station, because they're going to deactivate your goods. All the things that he's providing you, all the things he's giving you, like housing, public housing, low income housing, project housing, or Section 8, all these, and food stamps, WIC, everything he gives you that you've been taking advantage of by being under his system, he's gonna take that away from you. And then he's gonna give you a choice. You gotta take this chip and we'll reactivate your benefits package that you had. And then at that point, you're partaking in his system. So that's what he's gonna push on people. Those are his devices, meaning he's gonna have commercial ads, he's gonna have celebrities, all these people making commercials, making videos, making movies to get you geared to getting chipped. Those are the devices that he put forth in front of you. He's the crafty, and that's a crafty thing that he's gonna do to you Israelites, to get you tricked into taking his chip. So I'm gonna read that again. It says this is talking about Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And what is their enterprise? Their new world order. Them having you in full subjection, them in power, the 1%, which is the rich, the elite, the super rich elite, and then everybody else is gonna be the low class. You're gonna be the lowest, the bottom feeders. That's who you're gonna be. You're gonna be up underneath him. That's what's the rulership that he wants to continue it on and on and on. But like I said, the Most High has put his servants out there to tell you the difference, so you won't partake in that, because that's gonna be disappointed. That's not gonna take place. He's gonna get the tip of his like a plane taking off. He's down the runway, then the front of the plane goes up, and then it starts to elevate. Well, you're not gonna get that elevation. The Most High is gonna shut that down. You might get the tip of your plane, but you ain't getting it off the ground like you want it. So he's gonna make you think that. It says he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward he carried headlong. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grow in the noontime as in the night, because you got these so-called white men and all their think tanks, all their secret societies, and all the Bilderberg, the Trilateral Commission, all these different secret societies that they meet, and they come up with different ways to entrap you Israelites, and how they gonna perform their enterprise, how they gonna get their new world order fully blown. Because the cover is up, the jig is up. You go on the internet and just type in, you just put the word new, and then all the different listings come up. I'm pretty sure somewhere down there, you're gonna see New World Order, the Illuminati. So they're at the point, they're cocky. They know that people know about the Illuminati, the New World Order, the secret societies, all the things that they plan. They bank off the fact that people are dumb, that this is sottish people, like the scriptures say. They banking on you being stupid and not even believing it. And they say it, they'll put it out there in plain sight. They love that. That's what the super elite, the so-called white man, you devils, that's what you love. You deceivers, you love to put the truth out there, knowing that the majority is not going to believe it. But guess what? It doesn't matter if they believe it or not. You're going to try it, but the key word is try, not perform, not prevail. You ain't gonna succeed. The Most High is gonna disappoint you, and we waiting for that. We love that, and we push that boldly that you ain't gonna make your enterprise ain't gonna come to pass. The Most High he's gonna send his son, which is our big brother Yahweh Shai, and the holy angels, and hopefully the hopeful elect, Lord willing, a number of, is gonna join him to disappoint you. You ain't getting that done. That ain't happening. Verse 15. But he saveth the poor from the sword, from thy mouth, and from the hands of the mighty. Who's the poor? You Israelites, you're the poor, but primarily it's talking about the elect. The elect is the poor in this situation, because those are the ones who the Most High has his hand upon. Those are the ones he's gonna deliver from the mouth of the mighty, which is the so-called white man, his power structure, his military. Verse 16. So the poor had hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Behold, happy is the man whom Yahweh corrected. And that's a beautiful thing, man. Let's examine that for a second. It says, happy is the man that the Most High Abanawa Yahweh, that he corrected. Because all of us Israelites at one point in time was in the world. We were dead. We were in a dead mental, spiritual state. We didn't know the truth. And we were on the wrong path. We were walking in darkness. And we were on the path of error. But the Most High put the Spirit on a certain number of men that he wanted to turn around and correct, so you could walk, that he stand you upright, give you faith, give you the ability to have his spirit on you. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, the Spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, Baha Rakak Kodash, to go out and teach the word, to help correct other men. He gave you that spirit. And that's why the men that the Most High has put his spirit upon are happy, because they knew how much they were all the bad things that they had, that they were about. They were breaking the law, they were sinning daily. You know what I'm saying? Not only sinning, when you're sinning daily, we were an adulterous nation. We were sinning against the Most High. We didn't have the Most High truly in our thoughts, but he corrected us, meaning he gave us a chance. Like I said, hope. Let me read that part again. It says, so the poor had hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Behold, happy is the man whom Yahweh corrected. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. So when the Most High has corrected you, and then he starts to chastise you because he gave you correction, he's going to put you to those tests, those trials, those tribulations, afflictions, put the spiritual fire on you. You'll be happy about that. Let me get a quick precept, because there's a purpose of why you got to be happy for that. Because the Most High, if he putting that on you, there's a purpose for that. This is Hebrews 12, and I'm going to start at verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure, key word, if you endure, if you call in the Hebrew, if you endure that chastening, if you endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. Meaning that's how he show you he dealing with you. Because he got some hell, some temporary hell, some temporarily affliction, some temporarily infirmities, some temporarily trials and tribulations, afflictions that he wants to put that on you, so he can build you up, so he can strengthen you. Because when you endure, it hardens you, hard as a rock. It makes you hard, meaning gets you to the point where things ain't breaking you. Because when you got a rock and you got something else and you smash it with the rock, most times that rock is going to keep its intact. It's going to stay intact. It's going to keep its form, its shape. But whatever you smash it with, 9 times out of 10, that's going to break. So you're being hardened for a reason. So when things come upon you, you hard as that rock that smashed. Because this rock, another word for rock is stone, right? Like Peter. Peter was known as a stone, rock, that took upon affliction. But who's the greatest rock? Yahushua. Yahushua is the biggest example and the strongest rock. He's the rock or the stone that's going to smite, like the scripture saying, Daniel, that's going to smite the statue. And what that represents is he's going to come back and take down all you nations, all you kings of different countries, all you leaders of different countries that rule and run these countries. You're known as, you partake in that stone, meaning you are part of those kings that's running this world. Especially the super elite. He's gonna smash you. So this is back to the point. You're being made hard by the chastening of the Most High. He chastens you to strengthen you. And that's how he let you know that he's dealing with you. Because people think, oh, If you going through hard times and bad times, they teach you at the church you ain't receiving prosperity, you ain't the Most High ain't with you. And that's far from the truth. That's actually the opposite of the truth. Now the Most High will be with you, will provide things for you that's needed. He's going to give you daily bread. He's going to give you essentials that you need to sustain yourself in this world. But he's going to put hell on those ones he loves. Just like our big brother Yahushua had to go through it, catch hell. The people that read that don't understand that. They don't even know that. They just think, oh, it's a story. But there's a reason. It's an inheritance to that. Yahushua suffered, so those who are with him is going to inherit that suffering, just as well as inheriting the kingdom when he gets glory, when he gets his glory. I'm gonna finish this out in Hebrew. It says, if ye endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the father chasteneth not? So if you got a child out there and you don't chasten your child, you don't care about your child. You don't correct your child. You let him do whatever he want to do, and you don't love him. And Yahushua let a whole bunch of Israelites do what they want to do, and he ain't chastising them like he chastising his hopeful elect. And that's how he let you know that he's dealing with it. It says, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then ye are bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the fathers of the Spirit and live? For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasures, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. So we receive the chastening of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And also, we give double honor to our apostles and elders, the men that the Most High set up before us. We give double honors to them because they're the men that the Most High set up. They're like our spiritual fathers here on the earth. And the scriptures tell you that they pray for us, and they pray that we be protected. Let me jump back in Job. Back in Job. Back in Job 5 and left off at verse 17. I'm going to reread it again. It says, behold, happy is a man whom Yahweh corrected, therefore despise not the chastening of Almighty, which we went through in Hebrews, breaking it down why you shouldn't despise that. Verse 18. For he maketh sore and bindeth up. He wounded and his hands make whole. Because he does all these things. This all comes from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. The 6 troubles represents those missiles hitting. The missiles coming. Because you have 7 troubles. And the 6th trouble represents the 3rd day. Matter of fact, I got precepts for that. But the 6 troubles represent these missiles coming and hitting, and the Most High and the Most High destroying this place being laid to waste. It says, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch you, and the 7th trouble is a deliverance. That's when the Most High is going to deliver the elect out of here. They're going to get up out of here. 7 means completion, meaning this place is getting completely destroyed. So in the 7th trouble, those who are the elect will be delivered out of that trouble. Good precept. This is Hosea 6 and I'm going to start at 5. It's going to carry over into the 6th chapter. This is Hosea 5 and 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense, talking about you Israelites, and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early. See, like the scriptures say, the Most High gonna laugh at your calamity because you ain't listening to his men as his men go out here and push his truth and give you the opportunity to hearken, but you don't hearken, and so you don't listen. So but when the Most High start turning the dial up and the heat comes through, and he start putting heat on all you Israelites out there, then you're gonna want to seek him. Then you're gonna want to be like, where are those men at? They used to be out on the, teaching the Bible with the signs, and they looked at intimidating. And I didn't want to listen to them back then, but I wanted to hear what they saying because I used to mock what they said, but now I'm seeing what they said is happening. Where they at? Which is going to be during the time of the famine of the word, when the Most High is going to take his men off the street, close up the gates of mercy, and open up the floodgates of judgment. When that happens, then you're going to be seeking him, because you're going to be receiving major afflictions. It says, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction they will seek me early. Verse 6, chapter 6 and 1. Come and let us return unto the Lord. That's what the hopeful elect is saying. That's what they're gonna say. When the 2/3 were not trying to seek the Most High, the 1/3 and the elect were seeking him. It says, come, let us return unto the Lord, for he had torn and he will heal us. He has smitten and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us. In the 3rd day he will rise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Meaning you're going to be delivered in that 3rd day, which is this 3rd day is equal to the representation of the 7th trouble back in Job. The 7th trouble represents deliverance. The 6th trouble is America being destroyed. And the 7th trouble, completely as America being destroyed simultaneously, the elect will be delivered. Verse 20. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 19. He will deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch you. So as the 6th trouble is happening, simultaneously you're going to be being delivered, which equals the 7th trouble, which is you being, the elect being delivered up out of here on those chariots. Matter of fact, let me get a precept for that real quick. This is Isaiah 26, verse 20. It says, come, my people, enter into thy chambers. Thy chambers represents the chariots. The chariots are the chariots of the Most High, which the holy angels travel in. It tells you in Matthew's 13th chapter that the angels are the reapers, and they're going to come and they're going to deliver up. They're going to pull up the wheat away from out of the ground. Leave the tares to be burned, but deliver the wheat up. The angels are in those holy chariots. It says, come, my people, enter into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. What's the indignation? The missiles hitting. The Most High's righteous angel and the missiles hitting. Also, I got another precept for that. Because there are things that are simultaneously happen up until this point, which I'm going to go back into. It's going to speak on in Job. But this is another point of the Most High delivering his servants. This is Revelation 15 and 1. It says, and I saw another sign in the heavens, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up with the wrath of Yahweh. So it's talking about in the firmament, in the skies, in the heavens. There's the chariots, which I read to you in Isaiah 26 and 20. This is another description of that. Verse 2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire. So when the elect is up in the heavens, in the chariots, they're gonna be looking down through the bottom of the chariot. It's gonna be like a sea of glass, meaning transparent. You're gonna be able to see through it, and you can look down back into the earth, seeing that big old portion of America being destroyed, like fireworks. It's gonna be fire, actual fire, not firecrackers, but it's gonna be flames. You're going to see the flames surrounding the outline of the land and the water around about it, which is the lake of fire, which is what John the Revelator wrote. He wrote about seeing this happening from the chariots, seeing that the land is on fire and the water surrounding about it look like a lake that's on fire to him. That's what he's talking about in Revelation. And this is the description of you seeing it. Those of the hopeful elect. It says, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory, the elect, over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over his number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh, being in them chariots, man. You got the elect got the victory over everything Esau gonna bring, including his mark, which is the chip, including his destruction, including his famine, including the sword, the troops coming through. Let's get back to that. Since we went into how the Most High is going to deliver the elect, let's go into what happens leading up to that. Back in Job 5 and 20, it says, let's actually gives a further description of how the Most High is going to take care of his people. Verse 20 says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death. So there's two sides of the coin right here. So we're going to read it, and then we're going to go into both sides of that coin. It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. Thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field. So you're going to be in league with stones of the field. And I went into, the description of the Most High allowing you to endure, to make you hard like a stone, hard like a rock, right? You're going to be as the stones of the field. Stones is hard, meaning you're going to be able to endure everything that's coming in this times. It says, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee. You're going to have newly created creatures running around here devouring people. But when they pass a man of the elect, they're going to be at peace with him and go by him, or allow him to go by and devour the next one up. These are the things and the miracles that the Most High is going to be providing for the hopeful elect. Verse 24, and thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shall not sin. Thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, and thy offspring shall be thy offspring as the grass of the earth, which is what will take place in the kingdom. So let's examine that, because it told you. Start back up verse 20. We're gonna go to both sides of the coin. Verse 20 says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death. So